To call the Budget Review Committee to order. It's April 30th, 2025. We're in the Aldermatic Chamber, and the meeting's been duly noticed in two places, including the city's website, in accordance with the requirements of RSA 91-A:22. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Tim Senate. Alderman Derek Theobald.
Here.
Alderman John Sullivan.
Here.
Alderwoman at Large Shoshana Kelly. Alderman at Large Laurie Wilshire.
Here.
Alderman at Large Michael O'Brien is present. And our chairman, Alderman Richard A. Dowd.
Present.
You have 5 members
We
present.
have a quorum.
Also in attendance is Mr. Bill Mansfield, Radio Systems Manager, Police Chief Kevin Rourke, and the Business Manager for NPD, Karen Smith. We also have expecting Chief Buxton and Karen Condon, although I don't see them here right now. But we have Assistant Fire Chief Adam Pouliot, and we have Assistant Chief Tremblay with us, too, from Fire.
We also have the two deputies.
Yes, and the 2 deputies from MPD, yes.
Okay. Communications?
From Emily Matusulo, from Emergency Management Director, reason fiscal year 26 budget.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communication and place it on file. Unfinished business?
There is none.
New business resolutions?
There are none.
New business ordinances?
There are none.
Tabled in committee?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make the motion to remove from the table R-25-143, which is fiscal year 2026 budget.
All right, the motion is to remove the budget from the table. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, so this evening we are going to be talking with Citywide Communications, Police and Fire. The emergency management's on here, but you all got a memo, and basically their increases are only the salary steps. First one on the agenda is Department 157, Citywide Communications. Revenues are on page 19, and I believe that their appropriations are on page 78, I think. Yeah, take a seat up here anywhere.
Thank you.
Identify yourself. Yeah.
I'm Bill Mansfield, Citywide Communications.
Yep. All right. So you want to give us an overview of your budget and anything that, in particular, that you would like to point out before we open it for questions?
Yes, Bill Mansfield, Radio Systems Manager for the City of Nashua. I'd like to thank the Budget Review Committee for the opportunity to present the Citywide Communications budget this evening. As many of you know, the Citywide Communications Department is responsible for ensuring that all public safety communications are operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have a total of 2.45 FTEs and operate with 1 full-time and 2 part-time employees. These employees answer calls for service from various departments, maintain the equipment, the facilities at 5 different sites, as well as respond to emergencies when requested. The Citywide Communications Department is also responsible for programming radios, equipment, training city personnel, assisting departments with software and hardware issues that arise that are all related to radio in some form or fashion. During the past fiscal year, we've negotiated cell tower contracts with neighboring communities, and most recently, as of last week, we completed the installation of the uninterruptible power supplies at both police and fire that were part of capital improvements last year. So I thank the alderman for that. So those are all installed and up and running at this point in time. We continue to keep communications operational and assist fire with, recently we assisted fire with implementing new hazmat headsets that they have been trained on and they're using today. Outstanding projects that still need to be completed before the end of the fiscal year is the radio system upgrade, which is coming up beginning next week. That will take approximately 30 days, and all the affected departments will be notified if anything happens with their communications going up and down beforehand. The idea is to limit any interruptions at all, but we can't guarantee anything at this point with communications, especially with an upgrade this large. Following that, we are also going to be replacing routers at all the different sites, as well as at police and fire. That is another large undertaking that will take another month for us to get through that after we finish with the upgrade itself. We have some additional projects that are planned for FY26. Recently, the mayor and I believe the Board of Aldermen approved funding for us to be able to refurbish the 3 building facilities that house the radio system infrastructure at each of the tower sites within the city. Those have been on capital improvements for, I believe, the last 5 years. Money was allocated to that most recently, and the first purchase order is being cut today. So hopefully we can get that project moving along. Also, the town of Merrimack is going to be constructing a tower. That tower is going to be constructed to allow them the ability to operate their public safety communications on our radio system. This has been in the plans for several years. Finally, they just recently received final approval to go ahead and begin construction on that particular tower. It is anticipated that they're going to start that construction in October due to limitations by the federal government on when they can do it and when they can't start the construction. There is a contract that has been worked on and negotiated, an agreement that will be coming before the Board of Aldermen very soon for your approval. At that point in time, we can get into that and discuss that a little bit further, how that will work out. Also, we've been approached by the Massachusetts State Police to allow them to basically be housed in one of our facilities with their communications equipment to enhance their radio communications over the border. We've also began negotiating a contract or agreement with them on that particular topic. Again, that will be coming before the Board of Aldermen once everything's finalized, and we can go through that at that point in time. Also, in the one of the contracts, we're going to be presenting a fee schedule for services that we provide for entities outside the city. For many years, we've been pretty leisure with going and assisting these other agencies with different issues that they have, especially with interoperability, with trying to get their radios on our system. We've come up with a fee structure for that. We also came up with a fee structure for the installation of BDAs, bidirectional amplifiers in the city. So basically trying to regain some revenue back into the city for the time that we spend on these different types of projects. So that will be coming forward. In this proposed budget this year, the proposal is $49,000 over last year. Of this amount, $43,000 represents the increase excluding benefits. The increase, the major portion of this increase of $36,000 is attributed to the increase in maintenance contracts, and also we're trying to begin a program of rotating public safety batteries out of the new radios that have been purchased. These batteries are 3 years old. It's time for them to be rotated out. So we've allotted $20,000 for that, so we can start rotating these batteries out. This would be continual over the, from year to year, leaving that amount of money in there for those batteries. Each of those batteries costs over $200 a piece. If we buy a larger quantity, hopefully we can get it at much less price, much reduced price. But that's the main cost of the proposed budget that we have this year.
Okay, just for the record, approximately how many radios are you responsible for?
We maintain 1,500 radios in the city.
Okay.
That's with all entities. I'd like to add that something I did this year for the budget book, I've added in what we call a list of push-to-talks. So anytime anybody keys up the radio and starts talking, there's a report that I can generate to tell you how many times basically the system's been used. Over the past year, between all the entities in the city, there have been over 2 million push-to-talks on the radio system. So the highest user is police, second is fire, then it goes to transit, public works, schools, and then goes down from there for all the different entities. So.
Okay. Members of the Budget Committee have questions? Alderman Sullivan?
Thank you very much. You had mentioned in your recap about software updates, and then also you have a project where you're going to redo some routers.
Yes.
Under what, I don't see software called out on the budget, and also, so is that in another line item here? And also to the router question, is that under communication equipment maintenance? Is that?
All of that is included under communications equipment maintenance. So we pay a fee to Motorola every year for these upgrades, and that's what the upgrade is going to be. Part of that upgrade is going to be to replace all the routers, but that can't be done at the same time. So they are replacing all the routers as part of our maintenance agreement.
Okay. All right.
All set?
Yes.
Other questions? Seeing none? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
The next department is 150, Police. The revenues are on page 15, appropriations on 72 and 131. Chief Rourke, if you'd introduce your team.
Sure, to my right, Karen Smith, Business Manager.
Looks like you're seated in priority of
Deputy Brian Kenny, Captain Matt DeFava, soon to be Deputy Chief, and Police Commissioner Jim Tolman.
Yeah. Okay, who's going to start off?
I'll start off, I'll save the best for last, Karen. Good evening. This evening, we have our FY 2026 budget before you, which includes the payroll operational needs of the National Police Department. The proposed budget includes a 2.96 increase, excluding benefits and pension. It's made up of 96% increase to payroll accounts per the union contracts, and 4% increase to operational accounts. We added $30,000 to our budget in regards to telephone and cable. The city was paying that for years, and speaking to the City Hall and IT, Nick, we're taking that on, so there was a $30,000 increase in that. Sworn turnover first. We've had a lot of turnover in the last 5 years, and I'll speak about that and give you some stats, and you guys heard that last night. However, we are pleased to announce that we've been hiring steadily. We just hired 4 guys in April, and we have about 6 to 9 coming in July or August, which is good to see. But, you know, years ago, we had an ocean full of candidates to pick from, and now it's more like a puddle where we had 300, 400, 500 people applying for our test. Last test we had last month, we had 9 people show up. So it's just not Nashua. It's a nationwide problem, as you guys know, and you've heard me say it many times. But I did some research in the last 5 years and look back, and we've lost 79 police officers in 5 years, in the last 5 years here. 44 have resigned. 28 out of those 44 have gone into the private sector. 35 retirements, that's someone with 20 years or plus that is able to retire. So 79 guys in 5 years, that's 43% of our police department that we lost. That is a astronomical amount. You have all that training, that experience that you lose. The city is invested in these people. Of the people in the resignations, the group, if you ask, it's anyone with 6 months on, and we've lost people up to 17 years on the job, which as further they go in their career, the more experience and the more money that the city of Nashville invest in those people. So it's a big loss. Obviously, the turnover has allowed us to absorb some of the overtime due to the significant overtime cases through payroll. We've used payroll to pay overtime, extra training. Our ETF account, expendable trust fund, we're not requesting any money into that account. It's still full. That's a good sign. As the mayor requested, the budget for you does not include any new positions. Utilities and maintenance are priority areas of the budget. Due to the NPD HVAC project and city's negotiated utility pricing in recent years, we did not have to increase the budget for electricity and gas heat in this budget, so that's good. If after a consistent time and utility efficiencies hold true, we have other areas for budget that we would address within our budget. Examples, building repairs such as replacing costly garage door bays, replacing carpet, and buying equipment for some of our specialty units and our force. We were able to reduce the unleaded gasoline account as an offset to fund the increasing required for the much-needed training budget increase. Years ago, up until January 1st of 2024, each officer is required 8 hours of training. That's outside of our use of force, firearms training. Each officer is supposed to receive 8 hours. The state has bumped that up to now 24 hours. So this year, we had to increase our training budget. We went from 73 to 123. That's $123,000, hoping that we can that can be suffice for training the officers. That is a big ask by the state, but we did have to increase that training. So I thank you for your time, and I'm open for any discussion or questions.
I assume the state didn't send any money down to cover it either.
No.
No question.
But there is a lot of training at the academy that we can send our officers to that don't cost money for tuition. But sometimes we're sending these officers on overtime, or we're backfilling them on overtime, so.
Anybody else on your team want to say anything? Nope. Alderman O'Brien?
Thank you, and through the chair to the chief. Being a former state rep, I cringe like what you said. They're making you go up from 8 hours to 24 hours. That's hunky-dory. But there's such a state law of 28A. Is that not an unfunded mandate? And if it is, can you get together with your police chief's organization in the state and try to, bring that issue up to the state? Because like you say, it sounds like it was a big dollar amount.
Yes, it's on us to make sure that they set the requirements, so we have to abide by them, so. No, I haven't heard I go to the chiefs' meetings, and I haven't heard too many people complaining about it. It is what it is, and I will say that the officers should have more training. 8 hours, I don't even think it's suffice. It is a burden on the taxpayers, but having highly trained police officers out there is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think 8 hours was low anyways. 24 at once, that can be a burden on some departments, but we do a very good job of in-house training within our department, so. And now with our new training facility, that will even be better.
Follow up.
Follow up, Alderman O'Brien?
Yeah, Chief, just so you know, I do agree with the training aspect of it, but I hate when the state just comes down and mandates, you know what I mean? Unfunded mandates, and they're throwing a lot on us municipalities through education and everything else. This sounds like just another one from the state.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Alderman Tebow? Thank you, Mr. Chair. I got a few questions. Thank you again for everything you guys do. You know, we're one of the safest cities in the country, and, you know, it's to credit to you guys, really, the police and also the fire and some of the other departments that help keep us safe. So thank you for that. Do you know how many police officers you currently have?
We're down 14,
So down.
and we do have a couple in the pipeline to retire.
Okay, so down 14. So we talked about this a couple of years ago, I think, where we were talking about Lowell and we were talking about Manchester, how percentage-wise, we were still much lower than them. You know, obviously they're bigger cities, so they had bigger police staffs or police officers, more police officers. But you had said we were still kind of lagging behind them percentage-wise. Do we, to do what we need to do as police, are we still behind that percentage?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, about 4 years ago, we did a study on our department, the size of our department, how many calls we respond to, and the study revealed that we were down 12 officers just in patrol. I think it's over a 200-man department, but I'm not going to come to you when I can't fill my open position. So I think that would be a burden on the taxpayers, and I think it's unrealistic to do that. If I was at full staff, which I did a couple of years ago, I came and asked for 2 more. I think we can plug away at it, but I'd have to wait till we get to full staff before I came to you and asked for more people. But I do, with all the housing going up, the new casinos, you know, that is definitely, we got handling more calls and tied down, especially on second shift was our busiest shift. We could use more police officers out in the street.
Yeah.
Follow-up?
Thank you. That's exactly what I thought too. With the casino and the housing and all that, I thought the same thing. And I remember you saying that anticipating the casinos, and at the time, I think the only one we were considering was the one at the Sheridan, not the one that ended up at the mall. But now we have that one as well. So even though we're a safe city, we're still not where we would want to be in a perfect world. If I just said, here's all the money, we would want more officers based on the need, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for that. And the way you guys keep ourselves safe despite that, I'm sure it impacts the overtime part of the budget, I'm guessing, and maybe some of the burnout, and maybe that's why we maybe lose more officers than we would want to. One more question right now. So, thank you, Mr. Chair. I've heard a lot of people out there saying you guys should have a 0 budget this year for everything, not just police, for everything. Why are you going up at all? You're going up like almost 6%. National should be going up 0 with everything that's going on. If you were to say we're going to go to 0%, what would that do to your department? What would have to be cut to get down to 0?
Well, one, the obvious one, going against the contract that, the 5 contracts that we have signed and agreed upon by all of us. But operationally, that would be a problem.
Okay. And that's why I just want, and thank you, I just wanted to make sure, thank you for that answer, that people understand that. It's not so easy just to go, okay, we're not going to increase our budget when everything else in the world is going up and we always need more staff. And if we're putting more housing and more, not even just housing, but businesses, we want to make sure that our city's safe. And I'm very proud that we live in the city and the work you guys do to keep it safe. So thank you. I know it's hard. We'll get that question like we always do when we go to the big budget meeting at the end of this thing. We'll get somebody going up there. Why do you guys have so much overtime? Doesn't crime fit into 8 to 5? Like, why can't we train fire to do police work? And police work, you know, be trained on the fire. Like, we get that question almost every year. So I'm glad that you guys are able to do the work that you're doing, and even though you could always use more officers. So thank you.
More questions? Alderman Sullivan?
Thank you. Chief Rourke, you mentioned, well, first of all, let me say that hats off to you and your team for keeping a city of 90+ thousand safe and coming for, you know, less than 3% of a budget lift. I think that is impressive. That just shows me that that's a well-run organization,
Thank you.
top to bottom. On the staffing, you had said you're down 14 officers, but you had about 10 to 19 in the pipeline.
We have 6 to 9 that we're looking to hire by July or August. So that will bring us down, but there's also, I'm not counting the 2 retirements we have coming up July 1st.
Okay,
which
so-
was a deputy chief and a captain.
So the 14 officers that doesn't include the folks that are in the pipeline that could fill those roles?
No,
It doesn't?
no.
Okay.
So we're down 14. If we hire, say, 9, we're down 5.
Yeah.
But then we have 2
Yep,
that are coming out July 1st, so
Okay.
it'd be 7.
yep, okay.
We're gonna get to single digits, I'm told.
Rooting for you.
Other questions? I just want to recognize Karen as being a vital cog in the police department. She's kept the budget for a number of years and is retiring.
Not for a couple, 3
You're
years.
far too young to
We're
retire.
working on
but-
it.
Telling me something I don't know?
Oh, I thought it was sooner.
No,
Anyway,
it's not, it's gonna take a couple years to, like you say, to get someone trained.
get somebody trained, okay, great. And Matt, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir.
As the new upcoming deputy chief. And again, the National Police Department you're one of the highest scores, well, highest possible score you can get on your certification from Caleb?
Kalia?
Kalia, yeah, which is very important. And, Alderman Wilshire and I attend the commissioners' meetings, and the things that you prevent from happening here in Nashua are amazing and outstanding. So thank you for all the work that you do, and keep up the good work. And if there are no other questions, I know you wanted to get out sooner. All right, thanks very much.
Yep, thank you
Appreciate
for your
it.
time, thank you.
Take care. Okay, the next department is 152, fire. If you guys would come up. The revenues are on page 17, and the appropriations are on 75 and 137. Chief, if you'd introduce your team.
Certainly will. Good evening, Steve Buxton, Chief of Nashua Fire. Directly next to me, I have Karen Condi, the Business Manager for Nashua Fire. Next to her is Assistant Chief Adam Pouliot. He's the Assistant Chief in charge of Professional Standards. Assistant Chief Eric Tremblay, he's the Assistant Chief in charge of Emergency Services. And then Chairman of the Board of Fire Commission, Kevin Burgess. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us this evening. I'd like to take a moment to thank the admin team of NFR for their efforts in building the budget. Karen Condi and Anne-Marie Boucher are highly skilled and efficient at their jobs, and their efforts managing and crafting the budget each year are very much appreciated. In FY26, NFR is projected to bring in a total revenue of $519,918. We consistently monitor our fee structure, and we'll work with our city partners to adjust this schedule when it's deemed appropriate to do so. As you're all aware, the guidance requested by the mayor this year for our budget was 3%, and it also requested included a request for no new positions. We worked diligently to honor this request, and our budget does not include any new positions. It's important to note that over the last 4 budget cycles, we've added 4 positions, and they were all recommendations out of the master plan. The first was a 3rd inspector investigator within the fire marshal's office. That was recommendation number 26. The return of the 2nd assistant fire chief's position, that was recommendation 19. The captain of EMS, which is the majority of our calls, so we created a division to handle that. That was recommendation number 29. And then we actually are adding a position to our admin staff, which was called out on page 72 of the master plan. While we requested no new positions this year, we'll continue to monitor for future proposals and staffing that have been recommended within the master plan to best meet the needs of the city. After engaging in our budget process, we have a proposed budget with an increase of 3.324. As you know, a key aspect of National Fire Rescue's approach is our focus on adequate staffing. This allows us to respond quickly to incidents while meeting industry standards and allows us to work to prevent incidents from escalating into larger, more dangerous situations. This level of preparedness is essential in emergency services and is something that National Fire Rescue takes very seriously, and of course, it comes with a cost. The biggest driver in the increase of our budget is the salary lines and other obligations within our collective bargaining agreement. While at face value, many may title this as labor cost, that would be underselling the value of the work in the relationship between IAFF Local 789 and the City of Nashua. An impressive amount of collaboration has taken place over the past 3 budgets while incorporating language into collective bargaining agreement that helps make NFR an attractive organization to work at and assists with not only recruitment, but the retention of our members. I'm proud to say that that NFR members are some of the best paid in the state, and the benefits that we have allow them to be successful while also providing them with educational and advancement opportunities within our organization. In addition, the foresight of both groups to provide physicals and cancer screenings to all of our members shows how the City of Nashua operates at the next level and is willing to engage in new avenues that definitely have saved lives within our organization, as well as costs for the City of Nashua as issues are caught early on and can be corrected. In 2021, the city engaged in a master plan process that was adopted by the Board of Fire Commission and then the Board of Aldermen. And we have been working through the recommendations as we advocate for funding. This year, our budget requests focus on the next step in the process of investing within the fire department infrastructure. This is recommendation number 39 within the master plan. NFR has struggled with deferred maintenance through the years that is required within the 8 of our facilities. As identified in the master plan, as well as the facility study, which we are just concluding, there's a significant need for investment in our infrastructure, and a formal presentation of the facility study will be done at the Infrastructure Committee meeting, which is scheduled for Wednesday, 5/28. On Friday, May 2nd, we'll graduate 5 members from our recruit academy. This will leave us with 5 open positions within our organization moving forward, and we continue to work to fill those openings with the goal of achieving full staffing. The recruitment and retention of members takes a significant amount of collaboration, commitment of resources, time, and of course, dollars. However, the investment has allowed us to become more successful in this area than most organizations while maintaining our standards. I cannot overstate how this is a collaborative effort that takes an all-out effort from within all of the stakeholders at Nashua Fire Rescue. Our goals for FY26 are to increase and enhance the department training, achieve fundings for projects cited in the building condition assessment study, complete a feasibility study for the replacement of the Pine Hill Road Fire Station, continue our recruitment efforts, and continue to monitor advancements in protective clothing in preparation for our self-contained breathing apparatus replacement purchase, which is scheduled for next year. The increases in our budget next year are mostly attributed to wages and collective bargaining agreement obligations, utility increases as dictated by administrative services, and then the creation of a medical expense reimbursement program as a collective bargaining agreement item that we refer to as the MERP. An adjustment was made to our proposed budget. We had a salary contingency of just under $89,196 that was placed in the salary and wages line, which is 51,900. This was removed. This is intended to cover a pay adjustment that has been being proposed by the Board of Fire Commission for the chief officers of the organization. These adjustments are intended to assist in the compression that has taken place within our organization and the compensation packages for our executive officers. It's a program that we've been working on and has been underway since FY24. In closing, I want to take a moment to thank the mayor and the Board of Aldermen for their continued support. Through the efforts of the mayor and others, we are slowly making progress to grow our organization in a calculated manner, while at the same time being certain the funding is placed appropriately for the needs of our community. I'd like to further thank the Board of Fire Commission and the Executive Board of IFF Local 789 for their collaboration to move our organization forward to best serve the community. And most importantly, the men and women of National Fire Rescue for their efforts every day to make our community safer and assist those within our community who are having their worst day imaginable. It takes a special individual to enter into a career of public service, and I would say that firefighters are some of the most unique of these public servants. This is not just because of their skill set, but because of their compassion and desire to fix any issue that is presented to them. I'd like to thank you for your time, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Before we open up to questions, Commissioner Milizzi-Golian, would you want to join us up here?
I'm right here, thank you.
I apologize, I didn't see that she had come
She
in.
came in after
More
while you were
comfortable
speaking.
over here.
I'm sorry.
It's more comfortable over here.
No, I don't even want to enjoy your new surroundings. It's good.
Since you used to sit on one of these seats way back.
Thank you.
All right, questions? Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. Chief Buxton, you had ended your remarks, well, hold on, I need to say the same statement that I made to the police, because I think that 3.324% is a modest increase for keeping a city of our size safe. So, again, a well-run organization. You run a tight ship over there, so I appreciate it. You do great work.
Thank you.
You had mentioned that, I did notice between what you proposed and what the mayor had proposed were different. I believe that's the 89,000 that I'm seeing there. Could you explain that again and what that is, so we can have it on the record again?
Yep, so that dollar amount is, give me 1 second to turn back a couple pages here. That is line 51900. It's $89,196. And that's money that was placed for a salary and wage adjustment for the chief officers of the organization. These adjustments are intended to assist with some compression that has taken place through the years of the compensation packages of the executive officers of the organization. So those would be from the deputy chiefs all the way up to the chiefs level. And it's something that we've been working on since FY24. So there's actually a budget line in our current budget that money was placed back into the budget, is being held in contingency as we've worked through this process.
Follow up, please?
Follow up?
When you say chief officers, can you put a number to that?
There would be 7 of us.
7?
Correct.
Okay, so that's 89,000 across the 7 positions.
Correct.
Thanks.
It's much the same as we ran into in the school department years ago when people didn't want to become assistant principals because they had to take a pay cut. They're on a different scale than the people in the union.
Sure. So
They were getting bumped up much slower than the people in the union, and all of a sudden it's, oh, why do I want to be a chief when I make more money being, so, captain. So that's the situation they're in and trying to resolve.
Can I just, sorry.
Follow up?
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up to that, if you don't mind. In your opinion, Chief Buxton, if this doesn't happen, do you foresee retention issues at that senior leadership level?
We currently already have retention issues at our senior leadership level because of this. And we have members within our organization who are not willing to move forward because of it.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Wiltshire?
Thank you. I'm glad to see that you're addressing this in this budget. It's been a long time coming. This compression issue has been around for years. So thank you for your work and the commission for recognizing and helping you make that right.
Thank you.
Tebow?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, again, like other people have said, you know, you guys do excellent work. You know, I'm very appreciative of what the fire department does in the city. And I've said this before, I have two uncles that were firefighters in this state, and one in Wyoming now. But, so I get the work you guys do, and it's, having lived behind Chestnut for a year, that was more than enough experience to see you guys in action, hearing that alarm so many years ago go off. But, you know, so going back to this 89,000, which is what I had questioned as well. I remember when we went through this either a year ago or 2 years ago, where you guys had come forward. I'm pretty sure we approved it. You must have approved it, putting it in the salary, like you were mentioning. And now it's, again, being put as a separate line item and not being put into this budget by the mayor. So that's concerning. You know, I would like to try to find a way to get that back into this budget if I can, because I know it's a big issue, because I remember you describing it to us. And, you know, why would you want to take the extra responsibility and not get paid for it? This is one of the, like, I think out of all the city stuff and all the different union contracts and all the different ways we paid people in the city, this always seemed to me like that one loophole that we needed to clear up. And I thought we had cleared it up a couple of years ago. I thought we had solved it and we didn't have to worry about it anymore, but now it's coming back as an item that's out of this. So, you know, there's a lot of people that pretend to support the unions in the city, and you know, I'm 100% fire union. I support the firefighters and the unions of our police and our fire and our teachers and our DPW over and over again. And so, because I appreciate the work they do to support you guys and to make sure you're cared for. So my question is, outside of this 89,000, is there something that you just didn't get that you would have really liked? I mean, I always say it every year. I think since I've been in this chamber, I think the first year I said, where's that new fire station going, right? Or when are we going to get the airport fire station fixed? Or, and then the last couple of years, when are we going to get that floor fixed at Amherst Street Fire Station, right? I'm always saying that, and I'm hoping we're getting closer now that we did that study and that we're getting closer to some of those things. But what is left out of this budget that you think that you really could have needed?
Yes, Chief?
So I have two answers for you. So the first one would be, I would refer to Commissioner Burgess regarding the 89,000. There is legislation that the board has submitted that will be coming in front of the full board eventually to help us address that issue, as well as the budget support that is needed there.
Awesome.
As far as what we need in this budget, I think this budget is fair. I think this is one that works for us. You know, the mayor made a request. The city of Nashua, I believe, invests properly and heavily in public safety, and as a result, we're one of the safest cities in the country to live in, if not the safest. Do I have a wish list of things? Certainly. But I also recognize that the pie is only so big and it has to go around. Slow, sustainable growth is the key. I've been around a few days and seen things that were built up too quickly and they crumbled down just as quickly. So I think we're on target with this budget right here.
Awesome. Thank you.
All set?
Yep.
Any other questions? I want to thank you all for your service. You guys do a great job. And you do it with, in my opinion, not having the infrastructure support that you require. We have legislation coming before us very soon, coming to budget, to do the roofs and the HVAC systems, because we haven't recognized over the years that, other than the school department, other departments need deferred maintenance. I remember you and I talking about, you used to have the firemen that would volunteer to do some of the stuff on their own. I don't know if they get paid for it, but, you know, and that sort of goes away and does, and you should be able to fix things. HVAC systems, having 4 systems that are at the end of their life is not good.
No.
And anybody that tours the fire stations know that the airport fire station is desperately in need of help. Couldn't even begin to list the issues. I know the maintenance study will come back and be one of those things. But the other thing that's going to come back, it was in the last study, which was years ago, was you're basically 2 stations short. So the support you provide to the city in response time is amazing based on the fact that you have to go further than you should, and you also have to fight traffic. So look forward to that study coming back and telling us what needs to be done. Obviously, you know, with all the other things we have going, it's going to fit into a time slot, but, you know, we've got to ensure that your facilities are upgraded to support the valiant team that you have under you. Also, it's amazing, people don't realize the value and the cost of the vehicles that you have to use. Those ladder trucks now are well over $1 million, and the pumpers aren't far behind. And so, you know, the surf probably needs to be updated to get to reflect not only the prices, but the times. I think, what was the last quote you had on building a ladder truck?
48 months.
48 months. So that's an issue in and of itself. So you have to plan further ahead to make sure that you have a truck when you need it, you know. But you guys do an absolutely phenomenal job with what we've given you, and hopefully we can catch up on some of these things to make life a little bit easier. If there are no other questions, thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make the motion to table R-25-143, which is the proposed fiscal year budget of 2026.
Motion on the floor is to table R-25-143 till the next budget meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment? See no one? General discussion? None? Remarks by Alderman? I don't know why we don't combine those two.
Right?
I think I'll talk to the president about that.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Let's.
And once again, Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make the motion to adjourn.
Motion on the floor is to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at 7:47 PM.